What's up? Black men need to embrace being entrepreneurs and creators in the black community. Now, if there's any black men out there who's trying to improve themselves, who's trying to have a grounded identity in being black and loving being black, learning more about black history, eating healthier, more whole foods, or more calisthenics based workout, not only that, but developing the right relationships, plutonic or romantic, developing, their finances, becoming more financially literate and all those things. If you're a man that's trying to increase yourself in those ways and come together with other black men in your community and helping the black community rise and having that communal type of connection with the black community and black men, if you're interested in trying to increase yourself in those ways as a black man, I have a guide that I've made. It's a deep dive on all of those things. And if you're interested in that, the link for that will be in the comments of this video, the description of this video. And if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that. So click on that, check that out if you're interested. Now, we have to have more black men embrace being a creator in mentality first, in mentality. And that's what's going to put us in the mindset of being entrepreneurs, business owners, men who have businesses, right? And I think that that's one thing we lack, because we think that the only way we can really make money nowadays is, oh, just go and clock in at work or go to college or all of these things. And I'm not trying to go against going to college. I am for going to college. I'm for that, right? I'm just saying, have a plan, know what you want to do, right? But I'm constantly looking at the future and how the future is going to look. And I think that in the future we have to have more black people in general embrace being entrepreneurs, but the black men specifically have to embrace being a creator. We can't live in that mindset of, oh, I'm a laborer, I'm a slave, I'm gonna do whatever somebody told me. No, I think the black men in the black community have to embrace being the creator, being the entrepreneurs in the community, and just in the culture of black people. Because one thing we lack is ownership. We lack that, and we've always kind of lacked that in a lot of ways. And you look at segregation. That's the time where we actually have more black owned businesses, more black entrepreneurs, because we had to have that. And I think that that's what we have to start getting back towards, having that tight knit community where the black people come together, we rise, and the birth rates will rise. We have bigger families, we have more money in the family, and not only that, we're not just working. We ain't gonna be working for the white man. We ain't gonna be working for another race. We ain't gonna be working for the government. We're gonna be working for ourselves, and we're gonna have our own businesses, and our money's gonna stay within our community, right? That's another big thing about being a owner and a entrepreneur. You can keep your money in your community, right? And you're serving the people of your community. You're serving your people, right? This is a thing we have to embrace, and this is why I've always said, throughout my channel, in the future we need to have our own schools. In the future we need to have uh our own stores. We need to have our own businesses, our own banks. We need to have our own police department. All these things, we need to have it all for ourselves, right? Because that's the only way we're really gonna gain sovereignty and gain we're going to open that door for us to do what we want to do and do it how we want to do it, and to be sovereign over ourselves. And that's really where you get the prosperity, the sovereignty, the confidence in yourself. And you no longer just, you're no longer whitewashed. You're no longer, oh, I have to do it how the white man did it. No, right? We have to get away from those things. And so that's the thing we have to focus on. And the more we have black men out there who embrace being entrepreneurs and creators and owning, right? Owning their own land, owning their own stores, owning their own banks, owning their own schools, and they're being taught the things that they're supposed to be taught to be confident in themselves. That's the thing that's gonna be important, because nowadays I believe that there's so many things that hold back us from using our mind and being a creator, right? And I think the best mentality to have when you're a creator, or the best way of making money when you're a creator, is to be an entrepreneur, because it's up to you. You create something of value, or you have a skill and you can be compensated or you can monetize that, right? So that's the thing I think black men have to embrace: not being a scammer, not being a hustler, whatever you want to call it, not being a person who is they're not actually trying to work for money, right? Or create value. We don't need to have men who are just trying to rip and run, right? Because I think a lot of times when we hear entrepreneur, when we hear, being a creator, being a business owner, a lot of times in the black community with black men, that registers as, oh, I gotta rip and run, I gotta do this, and I can't really be stable. No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a job. I'm not saying any of those things. But what I'm saying is, for the long term future, for the future of black men, if we want to have sovereignty, we have to own. We can't just work for the person who owns. We have to own it, right? We have to own our own businesses, our own schools, our own farms, our own houses. We have to own all of that, right? And I think that that's going to be a thing we have to work towards in the future. And that's where we're really going to see the black man be sovereign over himself, and the black man be financially successful when he gains sovereignty over, being the owner, being the entrepreneur, and not working for anybody, right? And I think that that's also a thing that's not going to happen overnight, right? And I think anybody can agree, as an entrepreneur, it's not just fast money. It may get there once you get successful, but it's not just, okay, I'm about to do this and do this and do this, and it's gonna work out for me, just like that. No, individually it's not going to happen fast, and as a community it's definitely not going to happen fast. But I think when we create a culture around it, right, around being business owners, around being owners, about around having that holistic educational background, and okay, I'm about to go out there and be a creator, I'm about to go out there and be an entrepreneur, I'm about to go out there and own my own bank, own my own uh schools, on my own stores, on my own farms. When the black people embrace that mentality of, I gotta own everything, so that I know what's going on, and I know my people are, being nourished, and my people are prospering, my people have what they need, and I'm not relying on the government to do that for me. I'm not relying on another race. And I'm telling you, black people can do that. Like, we can do that regardless of what the government try to do, regardless of who try to hold us back, because guess what? They're not God. They can't stop us. If we really come together and we really want something to happen, it's gonna happen. And that's the strongest thing when we come together. Coming together is the most powerful thing that we can do. But it starts with us. It starts with us having that sovereignty, being in that creative mindset. The black men stepping up and leading that way, being a creator, being the man who's gonna step up and lead the way. All right. So I think that that's what we need in the black community. That's what we need in the black household, and that's, I feel like, the man's responsibility, really, because that's what's gonna pull all of us back together. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.